Welcome to the Talk and Chatter experience powered by Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson, Really Motorcycle Tyres Australia, and TCX Boots. Mate, freshly back from Dakar. Welcome, Toby Price.
Mate, yeah, good to be back home, and Dakar was definitely an adventure this trip. So, but a better one, that's for sure.
Congratulations on the result. It's your first second place. That's it's a fantastic bloody result after what was probably one of the most brutal Dakars in recent history. What do you think of that?
Yeah, for sure. This year they really they kind of tested us pretty hard. I think. I think by day 8, I think we were only like 400 kilometres short of the 2022 Dakar. So, there was just long days, long liaison rides, big stages. By the end of it there, it was like 44 hours total time racing. But, 9,500 kilometres of racing. It's a slog, that's for sure.
Man, it's unbelievable. Like, you look at that statistic at the end, and what was it? 43 seconds was the result, first to second.
Yeah, those 43 seconds I think are going to haunt me for the rest of my life. But, that's it. Like, after that amount of time racing to be 43 seconds off, realistically is not much. All it was one mistake on my behalf a little bit. But, at the end of the day too, I think they wanted to kind of cause some carnage on that last day and doing the WPPs, which are waypoints in the GPS, and they only have a validation point of 20 metres. So most of the time, all our waypoints have a radius of about 90 metres up to 300 metres. So you go from the length of almost a football field for a validation point to basically under half of the football field. For basically a validation point. So, and then on top of that, they basically did the first 40 kilometres with WPPs. Then all the waypoints went back to normal till 100 kilometres. Then the last 35 kilometres were back at WPPs for 20 metre validation points again. So, they definitely threw some curveballs in there and had some fun.
How do you remember that on the fly? Because just sitting here at home, we seen 2 points at that point. We seen, I think it's about 40.
Yep.
And then 103.
Yeah.
That was the only 2 points we see, obviously.
Yep.
So you obviously have your markers that you go by. I forget the name of them now, but that's what you're talking about by the validation points, eh?
Yeah, that's right. So WPP is a waypoint that they have, which basically they mainly use those in really like tight technical areas where you have to stay on this one certain main piece or anything. They don't really play with them too much being in the desert, being a wide open space, wide open area where you can pretty much go everywhere. It's like if you're going through between an orchard or something and you have to stay on a certain road that keep the farmer happy type thing.
Yeah.
And then you have like WPCs, which are, other like waypoints with a bit of a different radius points. You have WPSs, what else? WPMs. So these are all different waypoints, but they all have different like points that you actually have to hit. So 90 meter validation radius that you've got to hit, and then like the WPP, which is down into a 20 meter radius point. So and that's it. Like to try and remember all that stuff on the fly while doing 140 kilometers an hour. To then remember, the first 40 kilometers is this style. Then from 40 kilometers to 100 kilometers is this style, and then the last 35 kilometers is this style again, back to WPP. It was a lot to try and juggle on that last day, and then plus it just been pouring down rain, so people were drowning bikes, getting stuck. So, like at the end of the day, anything could have happened. I could have dropped from first place to fifth place by drowning a bike or getting stuck in a mud hole to, finishing in second place. I can't be too disappointed, but like I say, 43 seconds, it's very, very short period of time. You say that in a motocross race, you win a motocross race by 43 seconds.
Yep.
It's a 30-minute moto. That seems like it is a lot for sure. But after you've raced for 44 hours, total.
Yeah.
43 seconds is minor. It's the closest ever result at the end of a Dakar in history. So usually by then, the last day, you've got 15 minutes minimum to like 40 minutes coming into the last day. And then last day is an easy, cruisy, laid-back day. But last day here was pinned and wide open for 135, hoping for the best.
We'll probably get to the end of it a bit more, but it shows the caliber of rider between your top group on the last day to be separated by no time. That's as fast as that stage can go.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing else. You know, that's pretty, you know, it's just a race to the end at that point. Pretty cool.
Pretty much. That's it. And that's like my mistake was that waypoint. And like I say, for sure as anything, I know that's what cost me the 43 seconds,
Wow.
which, kind of definitely hurts. But like I say, end of the day, I'm home in one piece. This is probably the first time in many of years that I've came back to Australia and landed and went straight home instead of going straight to the hospital to get something fixed. So I guess in one way too, that's a bit of a bonus. But now I guess I've got the full collection, first, second and third. So 2 first, a second and 3 thirds. So got the full collection. Would be nice, to add that third one. And like I say, even just from this year, I know I can still do it. Know I can still run at the front, which is good.
Where does it start? Like, I think last year's bike was the new bike, eh? I think last year you ran a new...
Yes, last year was a new time with a new chassis, new frame and everything. Yep.
So I guess everything from last year starts preparation to this point, doesn't it? To get to this Dakar, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. So literally probably already in a week and a half's time, preparation is basically well underway for Dakar 24. So it's just... It never ends. Dakar is the main race everyone wants to be racing at, winning at, and doing their best at. So it's the World Championship rounds are definitely important, but they are mainly just some good test ground for us and try and stay fit and healthy, no injuries, and then just get through to the end of the year and they're full gas and attack in January.
How did you have your last test in sort of first week of December, somewhere around that? Last week of November, somewhere around that? Is that last sort of test time on the bike before you get to go? Yeah,
pretty much. This year, last year, we went like end of November, start of December.
Yep.
First time in a couple of years I was home for Christmas, which was pretty nice. I was stoked on that. And I guess, I don't know, it puts you in a better mind frame, I guess. So the previous 2 years for Dakar, which were mediocre results for us. I was living basically in a shoebox in a hotel room in Dubai. And I'm like I say, living in Dubai, there's nothing wrong with it for sure. But when you're, in a shoebox by yourself basically and chilling out, relaxing and doing nothing on Christmas Day instead of, hanging out with family and friends and stuff. It was nice to just, give you a bit better feeling and attitude, I guess, going into the race. And, it kind of worked out well for us. But we were in the States the first week of December. That was basically our last shakedown kind of test and final decisions on suspension and parts and everything that we wanted. And then, came home for a couple of weeks there and then, off straight after Christmas for the big one.
Are you someone that changes heaps of stuff? Like you found a pretty good recipe and just stick to that, or what happens there? Yeah,
for me, like I really try not to change too much. Like if I know there's an issue and I know there's a problem, I'll start trying to fix something. But if I know I'm close and in the ballpark, the bike might work really well on the rocks, but then the bike to work well on the rocks is more of a softer setting and just a bit more plush. But then as soon as you get into the sand dunes and the hard G-outs and drop-offs and stuff, the bike's going to bottom out and pretty much turn to crap on you. So you've got to have over Dakar, you've got to have a really good, medium kind of setting. You can't, it's not going to be perfect everywhere. So as long as I'm able to control the bike and feel comfortable at high speeds, for me, crashing sucks to begin with. But for me, I'd rather crash at 30, 40, 50 kilometres an hour than crashing at 120, 30 kilometres an hour. So I kind of focus on a fair bit of just trying to get the bike stability at high speed sorted, and then slowly try and work out a way to try and make the bike work and turn better in tricky, tight areas or working in the stones and stuff. So you've got to have a bit of give and take in the setting a little bit for us.
When day one began this year, how did it feel this year? Like obviously coming in from you undersell it in a way of sitting in the hotel room, because it's like those last 2 years, man, you had like 6 months of pretty much solitary. It's not playing a victim on that. It's a pretty full on 2 years coming into that. I guess getting into day one this time, a lot more relaxed, feeling good after Christmas at home and then flying over. Yeah. How'd that feel, getting straight in? Yeah,
that's it. It's like I say, at the end of the day, I'm lucky to be doing what I'm doing for sure, but it's, when you are kind of locked away into the corner for those last couple of years and spending 7 months of the year overseas when realistically you're not planning to do that. It's a different story. Like if I knew I was going to pack up, shift shop and move to Europe and commit that way, then you'd be in a different mindset to it. But when half of all your stuff's still here, family's still here, and you still live here, but then you're stuck and stranded overseas, and you feel stuck and stranded overseas, but still I was riding, enjoying myself and having fun and everything. But yeah, for sure, when you finish your day, you go back to a hotel room and just sit on your own. You're just like, this is kind of boring. What can I go and do? And you just try and make up things to go and do to take your mind off it. So going into this year was definitely a lot better. Like I say, I had Christmas at home, and then I basically then went straight from, what was it? I think it was 27th I flew out. So day after Boxing Day. Yep. Flew to Saudi, and then landed. This year, there was when we first landed, there was no hotel rooms, nothing. So we went straight to the campers in the bivouac, and then basically had 2-3 nights in the camper straight up. But that just gave us, in some way, it was kind of good to do it that way because we could set our camper up. We had pretty much all day to sort it all out. But as soon as we landed, we went straight to do shakedown on the bike, make sure everything was all good and what we needed and what we wanted, felt comfortable. And then, the next day was then setting all the camper up. The following day was then doing all the sign-ins, scrutineerings and the checks. And then basically New Year's Eve, we were prologue day. So it was...
wow.
Yeah, this year they started on New Year's Eve. So it was... that was definitely a bit of a different feeling as well, because normally, you're sitting in a hotel or would be sitting in the camper, and you're on New Year's Eve getting ready for day one of prologue or day one of racing. So, the New Year's Eve was very, very quiet for us, and I think our first morning after prologue, we were up at 3 o'clock in the morning and getting ready to start the liaison in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just thrown straight in, eh?
Yeah, it's
just bang straight in.
Straight into the deep end. So it's if you can't hold your head up at the deep end, you're in some trouble. So it's we kicked all the race off really well. This year we got the top 10, I think it was top 10 or top 15. We got to choose our starting position. Yep. So prologue was kind of important. And then because there was 27, I think it was, GP riders, which is the top class in Dakar, we got the first 10 got to choose in that top 27 group. So if I wanted to start 27th, then I could start 27th. So we ended up winning prologue. Really good way to kick the race off. That meant then I got to choose my position last, and I think I put myself in about the mid pack of the group. So I knew I had a couple of good navigators in front of us and a couple of good ones behind us if they decided to charge and push. And Yeah, and then basically day one we just kicked off nice and fairly steady, but yeah, the boys on the first couple of days were on a charge and wanting to go on a rampage, and then there was 40 k's in on day one. I come around in this little tight, rocky, snotty little riverbed, and next thing I could see my camper buddy at that time, Sam Sunderland, laying on the deck, and it's crazy. That's how quick this sport can change. He won Dakar last year, won the World Championship on a really big high. The guy trains super hard, rides nearly every single day, and then one stone, something out of place, and it can all come to a complete stop. So it was rough, but then at the end of the day, then I had a full camper to myself for the whole rally. So, I don't want to see him leave and go out of the race. Love having the bloke around and having a joke and a laugh, but I definitely enjoyed that camper to myself, and didn't have to smell his stinky boots in the afternoon and stinking the place out for us.
Oh man, it is so quick though, isn't it? 40 k's in, it's and no doubt on that end of it, and we'd all be in the same situation, just kicking yourself at that point too. Hey, just so much. What do you do?
Yeah, for sure. It's because the race is so long and it's massive, big distance. End of the day, if something's going to go wrong and you're going to be out of the race, I would prefer it to be within the first 2, maybe 3 days.
Yeah.
Whereas then you have case that Matthias Walkner had. He was second last day, so he'd already pretty much done the whole rally.
Yep.
He was, I think, about 100 kilometres on that stage, plus the liaison. So probably in total he was 1,000 kilometres short of completing the whole thing. That's got to hurt as well, because you just I've just broke my backside the whole 2 weeks. So for me, like I say, I'd prefer to bomb out in the first 2 to 3 days, because then you're just I'm busted and broken, but I didn't go and cover 9,000 kilometres and come up 500 kilometres short. So, but it's just, that's what it is. That's that race. It's designed to break man and machine. It can do it in the very first second. It can do it at the very last second. And but both boys are good, which is the main priority. Sammy's pretty certain. I think he should be all good for Abu Dhabi. And Walkner was going in for checks, which he kind of had tingling and a bit of numb feeling in the legs, which is never a good sign. But I think all checks were getting done. But the checks he had there, he was in a good way. They put him in a back brace. He flew back to Austria and getting all sorted. So, it's crazy.
Mate, you're much of a fan of motorsport as I am. Globally, things have gotten fast. You look at Bathurst, you look at 1,000.
Yep.
It's a sprint race the whole way.
Yeah.
Since 2015, when you got in there,
yep.
Has it just gotten faster and faster and faster? There's certain rules that have tried to make it slower. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But it seems so sprint race orientated for the amount of time that you're actually on the bike.
Yeah, 100%. It's from when. Yeah, I was kind of explaining to the boys while I was there with the team and that. It's when I came in at 2015. Mark Comer and all them guys were basically had a trail riding pace, and then towards the end was when they'd start to position themselves well and everything. Whereas now, when I came in 2015, I guess that I brought a different pace to the first week a little bit, and then won in 2016. And I think it was 40 minutes or something I ended up winning by my first one. So, I brought a different style of pace in, and now we're kind of starting to see that role reversal part again. So it's I'm at that point where Mark Comer is, and then now we're seeing young guys like Sanders, Mason Klein, all these younger guys. Basically, it's the old me in 2015 that will come in and they they ride extremely well. They let it hang out a little bit more. They like to take that risk, whereas where I like to take those risks back in 2015 because I was like, well, my body's my body. I don't care about it. It's all good. It'll heal. It'll fix itself up. I'll break myself trying to win this race. Whereas now it's like I've been able to compete in a couple, and it's like, would be nice to go home in one piece one time and not have to be in a hospital bed as soon as I land back in Australia and trying to get something fixed and everything like. So yeah, like for sure the mind shifts a little bit, but at the end of the day too, the body doesn't heal as quick as it used to back when I was that young 21 to 27-year-old. Things do just take that little bit longer to heal. So you got to kind of look after yourself a little bit more now. But yeah, you start to see this pace of the young kids. They're like, yep, ball's out. I'm going for it today. It's all or nothing. I'm going for broke. So it's good. Like, it's good to see the sport starting to grow and get bigger and better. And I think, like I say, Mason is only like 21, 22, something like that. So the kid's got plenty of years left in him to win a Dakar. But yeah, you just hope that the recipe at the moment doesn't cause any drama for later on in life. Whereas that's what, I'm 30 broken bones deep now. And I do find myself a little bit harder to get up in the morning and start to get moving and little bits and pieces like that. But it's all part of it. I wouldn't change it for the world. And once I'm warmed up, all good, set, ready to go. And still I have that like personality in me that when I put the helmet on and when the time counts and when the time's right, I'll drop the hammer and go for it full gas. Definitely at that point in time you don't think of an injury or getting hurt, but when it does go wrong, it's usually a big one.
That's right.
It's
such a
it's a hard mix now. Like it's like I say, I'm hoping another good 2-3 years left in me to be super competitive. But I know when I was 2015, I knew I could be competitive and I knew I had the pace. I still know I have the pace now, but you try and control it a little bit more. So it's it's interesting. It's cool to see the sport getting faster, and hopefully being the older guy, I can keep up with those younger guys.
It's crazy. Like, raw speed's still there. Look at Prologue. It's still there. It's just time and place, I guess. It's knowledge, isn't it? You've got knowledge.
It's just that knowledge and just knowing when the time's right to do it. And I knew Prologue was going to be pretty important. When I need to drop the hammer and go for it full gas, I still know I've got the speed to do it. And that's what, at the end of the day, it's not trying to blow my own trumpet and my own whistle, really, but I just know I can still ride the bike and still do what I need to do. But then there's other days where I know, that guy just went by, and I think I'll just let him go a little bit because, it's... You see guys, when you go to the casino, you can't go to the casino 14 days in a row and come out the other side winning by putting it all on red or black. So there's going to be that one day that you put it on red and it's going to come up black, and that's the role reversal of, you've put it all on red, you've gone full gas and crashed and hurt yourself. So it's, whereas before, like if someone kind of came around me and passed me, I'd like, cool. I'm going to jump on the back of him and I'll blow back by him and show him who's boss, really. And then, but at the end of the day too, then it was like, you didn't really need to do it. It was just like that hunger. It was just like the greyhound with that rabbit running out in front of him. You just wanted to chase him down and go. But so you pick your times right when you need to, and charge on when you have to.
Is it more fun doing it like that? Like it, sort of a bit of strategy, a bit more strategy maybe. Like it sort of seems, it's good to win. 14 stages outright would be fantastic. However, it's pretty hard.
Yes.
Red or black, sort of what you said.
Yep.
But a bit of strategy in there, pretty fun too, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's what. There's definitely a lot of strategy in it now. But when you say strategy in it, like we don't know what the hell's going on the whole racetrack. So it's like that's the other thing too. Is that like you might have put yourself in a 12th place start thinking, perfect, this is exactly what I wanted, this is the strategy I want to play. But then you don't know what the guy in 5th place is doing, because he's 25, 30 minutes in front of you down the track. He might have absolutely blitzed the day, and yeah, you don't know. You feel like you're doing a good pace, and you get in at the end of the stage and go, oh, damn, I'm 6 minutes down. Like, wow. I started behind. I should have been towards the front. I should have just went a little bit harder. So it's there. Like I say, there is a lot of strategy in it, but then there's also a lot of not all luck, but you've got to have some luck for your way a bit as well. So it's it's one of them races that you can't really predict what you do. You got to try and do the best that you can each day, what you think and feel is the right kind of decision, and then just kind of at the end of the day hope it really is the right decision. So there might have been 1 or 2 stages where I feel like I could have went a bit quicker, and then you're like, well, is that the difference of that 43 seconds? But at the end of the day, I know that last stage, that one waypoint that I went, I think it was about 1.23 kilometres down the track. Then it was saying I was missing a waypoint, to then turn around and come back, get that waypoint in that 20-metre validation point, to then turn around and go back that way again. Yep. There's my 43 seconds gone. So there could have been other stages that I could have went 2 minutes quicker, and then that 43 seconds was no better. So it's just one of them things. It's how it played out. And end of the day, I'm happy. Like, it's for sure not what we set out to do, but to come home with some hardware and, like I say, not in a hospital bed, getting fixed. That's a pretty big win in my book.
And for the team, 1-2. That's
that's
chuck that in there as well. Like, it's a damn good result for that. So
100%. That's it. Like, Kevin did an amazing job and rode extremely well. And that's his first win with the KTM brand, and second win in Dakar. So no, it's cool to see, and finishing second. And then Skylar Howes finishing third. He really did put on a good show this year, and did an extremely good job. And to battle with those two guys basically that last week, was some pretty stressful nights. But like I say, we could only just ride the bike as best we could feel, and we did a good job, I guess, for KTM to come out 1-2, which was rad.
Absolutely. Rip into stage two. What happened there? Like, how's everything going there at that point?
Yeah, look, honestly, like, for me, the first week is not... Like, it's important. Stage 2, we were just basically trying to stay consistent and stay within that top, like, I guess, like, top 5 to top 8 group. And then just, really kind of not losing so much time. So nothing really too crazy happened on stage 2, and basically we're just trying to tick kilometres. So, like, for me, it's just trying to get through that first week healthy and not have a crash or an injury, or try and band-aid something up and fix things up, and because then that's just going to make week 2 a hell of a lot worse for you. So that was all going good. I think, like, stages 1, 2, 3, and 4 were quite good for us. I think it was around stage 5 or 6. No, I think it was 6. That myself and Burrito had a bit of a run-in. But was like no fault of my own, and sure as no fault of his either. Like, he basically we'd made a little navigation mistake a little bit earlier on, trying to find a waypoint, which was a WPC out in the middle of the desert, trying to find a 90-metre radius point. Super difficult to do. And we basically were just in this area of just a lot of, like, off-piste, like, kind of tracks. So there was just little roads and stuff going everywhere, and we had a cap average to follow. And we started just pulling more left, and not realising it, we were starting to go off cap a little bit. And once we got down to the kilometre and there was no waypoint there, the panic stations kick in. And then from there we were starting to search a little bit. Literally, after we were looking at the trails that were on like live tracking timing there and stuff, I think we were about 200-300 meters short of opening the arrow, and virtually thought we'd gone too far along. So then we turned around and came back and started going the other direction, thinking it was that way, because if it hasn't opened over there, then it must be back to the left. And actually turned out to be we were still heading the right kind of direction, but when the arrow would open on the GPS, it was going to be more of an angle like this instead of going straight into it.
Wow.
So, when you look back at that, you're like, oh, geez, it was, all I had to do was like 200-300 meters more and I would have been happy days. But then, I think we lost about probably 5-6 minutes there, just out searching around. But everyone at that point, because we were like first on the trail, first on track, everybody pretty much followed our tracks.
Wow.
And then by the time they got there, we'd pretty much already fixed it. But then when they're looking at the ground, there's a track going this way, there's a track going that way, there's a track coming back this way, and there's just lines going everywhere.
Yeah.
Then they go, oh, I realise I haven't been looking at the road book, I've just been following trail all day. Wow. Then they're like, well, which way do I go? There's tracks going everywhere. And so then they end up getting a little bit lost as well. So you don't lose so much time. So like on average last year, everyone that would start at the front, you would lose anywhere from about 15 to 17 minutes average. So the average time that we kind of got lost this year was about 5 to 6 minutes. So it definitely, they made a big improvement on road books. They were explaining things a whole heap better for us. They weren't trying to pull some bits and pieces in the road book of going like, because normally like a cap average is from note to note. And that's what kind of killed my result last year, was that they gave us a cap average, and then in the little box on the right hand side they said which is then at 400 meters follow track. And then but then the cap then basically went and turned back around to like cap 140 instead of it being a cap average of 210 or whatever it was. So the way they explained it in briefing is that you get a cap average is from note to note. So we just kept following cap average, going, then no waypoint would open up, nothing would, whatever. And that's where I lost that 45 minutes last year.
Yeah.
This year they didn't really kind of pull anything like that. It was definitely explained a lot better in the road book, and the navigation was more on point. The time lost this year wasn't as much of a big difference as what it was last year. And then, as we got to refuel, we refueled the bikes up, took off into the stage. By then, Adrian from the Honda team, he'd basically got up just in front, and then we were just starting to jump onto the back with him. Yep. And then, Beretta tried to basically, I guess, he was sick of sitting behind me. He wanted to get behind his teammate. And just as he basically, I was riding along pretty much on the trail, and then he's kind of pull out around to the left and overtake me. And then just came over this little bit of a crest, and it just went straight into like huge little mounds of camel grass, which is like just hard lumps of dirt. Yep. And, this thing just high-sided him off the bike. Then the bike's basically turned a 90 to its left, and then just shot straight across in front of me, and just ploughed into him and the bike, more or less. Yep. I think I hit the bike pretty hard, but then he had like a good like rubber tyre mark on his helmet, but I don't know if it's from his bike, or I hope I didn't hit him. We still don't even know. It happened that damn quick. And then next thing, I was on my face, and he was out cold, asleep on the ground. I'd flipped over the front, landed fair on my back, kind of like winded me a little bit, but the worst bit was it popped my camelback
Oh, no.
in my jacket. So as I was getting up, then I could just feel all my hydration fluid just basically leaking all down the back of me, into my pants, down into my boots, and then I'm like drenched. And it was kind of cold this year, so the rest of the ride for the afternoon was freezing with that.
Wow.
Yeah, basically being drenched for the afternoon. But yeah, that was basically my first week. Besides that incident, like I'd pretty much got through scot-free, and yeah, I kind of jacked my back up just a little bit, and then that I was kind of managing that through the whole rest of the race, but it wasn't that major that I had to, kind of snap myself back into a different shape or nothing. It was just, I just had some sore muscles and pulled some muscles in my left side of my back, and and then we had, it was then stage 7 for us got cancelled due to some flash flooding. So Saudi Arabia basically say that they only get 11 days of rain per year. And I think by that point then we'd already had 3 or 4 days of pretty much rain pouring down. And so it was just, waking up in the morning, straight into the water, straight in the cold, trying to keep the hands warm. And then, cars started getting stuck after us on that stage 6. So they then just decided, not only on top of that, so we finished stage 6. They had the road book, and then we were riding to the bivouac. Basically, we're showing we're about 4 kilometres short of the bivouac, and pouring down rain, dealing with Saudi Arabians on the road. It was like National Off-Road Dune Bash Desert Day in Saudi Arabia. There was like thousands of people in the dunes, and we're waiting just to have a head-on with someone or something like that. We got to this last little point of the road book, and then nothing started to make sense in the thing, and we're like, there's meant to be a road here, but there's nothing, so maybe it's another kilometre up the road. And we just kept riding, and we found this road. We're like, oh, maybe that's it, so we'll take this. And then before we knew it, we were out for about an extra hour and a half trying to find our way back to the bivouac. And then once basically we'd searched everywhere we possibly could. Then another couple of riders were showing up exactly the same spot. So we're like, well, everyone's reading the same as what we are, so what the hell's going on here? One of the boys pulled the phone out and just asked the team, hey, where the hell's the bivouac? Like, we're at the end of the road book, and we cannot see you guys anywhere. We're drenched, we're cold, we're tired, this is not on. They sent him a location point, and we were 32 kilometres from the bivouac still.
Oh, no.
And we're like, what the hell? Like, where the hell did this all go wrong? And then everyone's showing up. And so, we started heading up the road, got to the bivouac, coming in the gate, and I was just like, hey, boys, like, what the hell's going on? Like, we were 32 kilometres from here, and the road book's telling us to be there, and we were nowhere near you guys and that. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, we followed the road book. And I said, and by the time we got to like the last probably 5 or 6 notes, it just turned to absolute shit, and nothing matched up, nothing lined up. We were a million miles from everything, and we were 32 kilometres and from the bivouac. And they just basically went, oh shit, haha, that's no good. Like, that's pretty rough. And I'm like, what are you laughing about this situation for? I said, mate, you've got a serious problem on your hands. Like, everybody is 32 kilometres from here. So you should be not really laughing about the situation. You should be jumping on a call to try and fix the problem. Like, so I was just like, give me my bag and I'm getting out of here before I really lose my temper right now, because I'd already spent an hour and a half extra out there, and drenched, cold, freeze, and just wanted to get food. I was like, I just want to get in bed and go to sleep. So it's just get ready for another day. Forget about that part. And yeah, if you think it's funny, mate, go for gold. Like, but you're going to have a lot of pissed off people when you get to when they get to this bivouac. So yeah, and then stage 7 then basically cancelled that for us because we figured out the problem, blah blah blah, and then they worked it out. Then they've got a big issue on their hands, so then they started redirecting the cars straight back to the bivouac. But then yeah, some guys didn't get in till like 9-10 o'clock, like from that mistake. So yeah, stage 7 they cancelled the bikes, but then sent the cars out on that stage.
That's unbelievable, eh?
Yeah.
I've known you for a few years now, but that stuff happens, eh? Like just random things.
Just random, out of control, like out of your hands, things like that can happen. To then trying to explain it to people and not them not being on the ground there. It's like, and it's super frustrating because like you get a liaison for 140 kilometers and you're like, oh, it's going to take forever. Like, yeah, okay, it's only going to take an hour and 15 minutes because we can travel at 110, 20 kilometers an hour on the road.
Yep.
But you've already done a 350 kilometer stage and 300 kilometers in the morning, and you're just like, all I want to do is just get back, have a shower, eat some food, rest a little bit, get ready for another day. And then when you're stuck out there for that much longer, you're just like, this is eating into my time to recover and get ready for the next day. And but that stuff can happen in the blink of an eyelid, and people don't see it, don't understand it. And you've got to try and explain it the easiest way possible on the other side of the world.
Man, it's crazy. Like we looked at that. We're like, there's just a whole lot of things with timing anomalies as well. You're just like looking from here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, how's it? And I don't want to knock anyone, but the app just seems to get harder every year. Like, I might be pretty silly, like, and I think I am, but it's just so hard to read.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to sit there and read that, because I think that's probably more complicated than reading the road book.
It could be, man, because I'm like, on my side of it, like, we're sitting over here, I'm like, oh, the map's not opening. How, I don't know, it's a few years now.
Yeah.
The app just seems to get harder to read. I'm not trying to knock organisers, but man, it's got to be easier than this. I know you're in the remotest possible parts of the world too, but it's got to be easier some things.
Yeah, you got to get hold of this Starlink or something and start streaming it over there and going that way with it a bit. So
it's the future.
It's the future, that's for sure. But so then, the motorcycle guys, then I guess we had some entertainment on day 7, because then the car guys then didn't have our tracks to follow in the sand dunes and the desert and everything like that. So then, we got to see a little bit of chaos and carnage of cars going backwards and left, right, and trying to search for stuff.
How was that with terrain and that at that point? Like after all the rain and everything, and going to catch up with the cars through that, they must have just had a terrible time through that stage.
Yeah, through stage 7, I think it was definitely difficult for them. That's the worst part. Is it's like, when a storm comes through and a flood at that point too, and being that it's a country built on sand, the ground changes a hell of a lot. So when they're going out like that, then the road books, then instead of it being like a precise, like tuned piece of paper for your racetrack, it then just becomes a bit of a tour guide road book for you, because it can completely change certain areas. It, like, they've driven through 2, 3, 4 days earlier, then made the road book probably 2-3 months prior to it. And then when they did it 4 days ago, it was perfectly smooth through here, but then you have a flash flood come through, and next thing there's all of a sudden a huge big washout. That then they're like, well, it's part of Dakar. Like it's one of them things. It's not really. Like at the end of the day, we're risking our life to, I guess, we want to risk our life to do what we want to do and race bikes, but we are the show for Dakar, and it's like you are kind of a bit of a puppet on strings to make their show look good, but you're risking your life for it on something that's now not accurate because, a flash flood comes through. And then you see people go, oh, stop being a pussy for it. Like, it's good to get out there and just go and ride it, ride to the conditions. And it's like, well, we don't know the conditions now. Like, there's a huge, big washout that we can be going through there at 140 kilometres an hour, and the road book says it's all good. And to try and stop a bike from 140 kilometres an hour to a massive big ravine and a square edge bank the other side, that there can just take you out of the race because it's now a new danger that's not marked in the road book. So it's like you've got to be super cautious of that and everything. So I don't think there was too much chaos-wise of cars rolling, flipping, doing anything like that. But I think it was just, for them, the biggest bit of carnage was there was no lines in the dunes. There was no lines in the desert because the motorcycles weren't out the front leading the way. So, the Shorty, Andrew Short, last year was with the bikes. And then, this year he rode with Molly Taylor from Australia here with the Can-Am. And he's like, dude, he said, it's like a freeway. Like when you're in the cars, he said, you can see where all the bikes go. And, you just kind of sit there and follow along and follow the way and just call dangers and check notes to make sure that, this is kind of pretty much the right cap and stuff like that. So he said, it's much easier on the mind. It's and heaps safer to be in the car for sure. But it's he said, the navigation side of things is quite simple and easy in the car. He said there's still some technical bits that you got to keep an eye on and whatnot. Like the car and the Can-Am can't climb some of the dunes that we go directly straight up. But they know that we went that way, so they go left or right of the dune, go around and go, all right, sweet, we can go back this way, blah, 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 cut back across, and then see the tracks and straight back on the tracks and keep going again. It's like, but we the bike guys had some entertainment that day, that's for sure. So you see the boys, basically dancing around in the desert, going backwards and turning around, cutting left, cutting right, and having a bit of fun. So it was, then that was basically our first pretty much week was done then. So it was, and like I say, by day 8, we were 400 kilometres shy of the total stage kilometres in Dakar 2022. So we still had another 6 days of racing to go.
And the terrain looked different.
Yeah, so this year we started like on the coast, kind of went like north, and then we cut all the way back down to the other side of Saudi. So like, I guess kind of like more east side. And then we cut back up north back to the other side of the coast on the east side. So, so we kind of went southeast down, and then went back up north a little bit to the coast. So it was definitely different terrain a little bit this year. The first week was just stones and rocks and riverbeds. It was like, I just want to get out of just square edge, stony, rocky, like your wrists were feeling beat to hell at the end of a stage. And not only that, you just riding along, next thing the rear end just kicks sideways on you just from a rock you didn't see kind of tucked away behind a little tiny bush or something like that. So it was, the first week was a good test for us to kind of really iron out the results for the second week.
What were the dunes like? Like just sitting at home watching the coverage. One of the days in particular, I think it was the second week, looked huge. Were they bigger than normal? Like bigger than normal, some of the dunes? Yeah,
this year I feel we had some more decent style, like bigger dunes and stuff. So, we definitely had some there where we were like kind of even on edge on the bike trying to climb and get over. So, and that's you just trying to hit the thing pinned and wide open and get to the top. So, I feel like it was a pretty good mix this year. Like the course, I didn't mind it. It was pretty... Majority of it was fun, but for sure that first week was just as soon as that countdown board said go, it was just stones from there till the finish. And it was like, I just want to get into some sand and something that's a little bit easy. But then you get into camel grass and it's like, it's virtually the same thing as stones. The bike's like this everywhere on you and you're trying to, you're working your backside off to try and stay on the thing. And so, but like I say, it was a really good mix of dunes and that this year, and super like compacted dunes where it was like you didn't really sink so much. The bit of rain kind of gave that little bit more of a compact feel. And then there was other parts of the dunes that were just super soft, sketchy. You're coming down in like big embankments, and then you hit the bottom and the thing just wants to stop and bury itself. And so it was a good mix of all terrain, which was cool.
Now, you're someone that doesn't get cold. Like, I seen the coverage, right? I'm watching. I'm like, that actually looks cold. You look cold in some of the sections, like some of the footage.
Yeah.
It was proper cold, yeah?
It was, like for me, I don't mind the cold for sure. But I don't know. That's like, for some reason this year, it just kind of got to me a little bit. And yeah, for sure, it was cold for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like my bones just could feel it a little bit more this year. So I was like, something's changing. Because that's, all the boys were like, oh, you got a jacket on today. What the hell's going on here? Like, you'd never wear a jacket. Like, you just ride the bike and cruise up the road, and it is what it is. And I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, it's a bit fresh this morning. But, at the end of the day, too, maybe all those years ago, I probably should have put a jacket on because it was pretty like nice to stay warm and comfortable for the 300k liaison ride in the morning. It's definitely, normally it gets like a little fresh in the morning and then gets pretty warm through the day.
Yep.
And then late in the afternoon, it starts to kind of cool off a little bit again. But this year just didn't really seem to warm up so much. So we were putting some jackets on and trying to keep warm a little bit. And I guess at some point I've got to start looking after the body.
Yeah, I guess so. It happens.
Mate, it happens.
Airbag. Did it deploy on that one with Beretta?
Yeah, with Beretta. Yeah, definitely.
So it deployed. The camel pack popped probably all the same time.
Exploded and took off and drenched me. And so I think I had my airbag jacket only go off once. So that was in that crash. And then I probably had two other little, like, tiny slip-ups and the airbag didn't really realise it and didn't explode and, protect us on that side. Like, but they weren't big crashes. It was like one that was at the bottom of a dune. I was looking at the top of the hill and was like, all right, I need to get up to the top there. And just as I started to accelerate and then start to look up, it was just like there was a small little cut embankment, but it was just like invisible, and the front just hit that and then just basically just washed out and fell over. And then I think it was another one in the dunes where I kind of just basically got stuck a little bit and then tried to flip and turn around and fell over, and that was about it. So it was like I say, I think 3 crashes in Dakar this year. One decent-ish one, but I come out of it no problem. 2 very minor ones that were just fall over and get straight back on. So
what happens with the deploy one? Like, I know in road racing, like, it's easy because you're at a circuit. Like, you're in, I'm going to say bush because I'm such an Aussie. You're not in the bush, you're out in the sand, right?
Yep.
But, like, does it just deflate and then just go back to normal?
Yes, yeah.
You don't have to do anything?
No, don't have to do nothing. So in our, like, in the back part of our jacket, that's why you see we've got like a big lump on the back of us.
Yep.
That's where we have 2 canisters, 2 charges in there. So you crash once, 1 canister will go off, and then I think it's about a minute and a half. The airbag jacket's basically then kind of fully deflated.
Yep.
And then we have like a second charge. So if we were to crash a second time, we have that charge, and then you crash a third time, then you're on your own. There's no airbag jacket.
Back to how you were.
Back to how we normally were.
Yep.
So, look, I don't know. It's one of them things. I hate wearing the thing, like, because it's like just telling someone to go and put a garbage bag on himself.
Yep.
And then go and ride in 25-degree heat for the day, and you're not really getting like a cool kind of breeze on you,
Yep.
like to kind of cool you off. But with the conditions how it were this year, being a cooler conditions, it kind of helped. It was like a more of a comfortable feel to have with it.
Yep.
But if it's like 40 degrees, like I'm dreading the day we have to be in 40-degree heat in that thing, because it's gonna roast us. Like it's gonna start cooking us from inside out.
Stop your ventilation, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's just a blocker for that.
It's just a big block
Yep.
of like a bag on front of you, basically. So I feel it's good for the sport for sure. Like it's when it does deploy and go off, and when you've had a crash in cool conditions, it's unreal. Like
Yep.
it's probably the best thing we will kind of wear. Helmet and that thing is probably the biggest safety things we got now. So, but like on that 40-degree day, I'm not looking forward to that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I get that. I really get that. Mate, we're up to a section where I want to ask you something. We can delete this if you want. All right?
Yep.
So the Olympic Village, right? When they go to the Olympics, so everyone's at the peak of their performance over there in sport, right?
Yep.
They hand out tens of thousands of condoms when they go to the Olympic Village, right?
Yep.
What's a bivouac like? Like, it's not like that?
Basically-
It's not the total opposite?
It is total opposite.
Yep.
It is basically, I guess what they call it, sausage fest, really.
Yeah.
There is female that do attend, but yeah, half of them are part of a group married to a driver, maybe a rider, maybe part of a crew and team and whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, majority there's definitely none of that
Yep.
stuff going on in our camp. So
The thing I looked at with it too, like Olympic races, 100 meters is in 10 seconds.
Yep.
Right. And then like the swimming is done in, the longest race is 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're out for days. You just want to come back and sleep. Like
Yeah.
everyone's just so tired as well. I'm like,
100%.
it doesn't happen, but I've never asked you. And I'm like, it's
No,
just
I
something
like
I
it.
thought.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
yeah, shit. That's
Yeah.
I guess if they gave you, what is it, 14 days, and they gave you 14 condoms, you'd probably come home with 30 of them, because, you'd be like, I guess you'd be at the dinner table, like, using them as the colours to gamble and do
Be like
something.
trading
play-
cards.
Trading cards or something. It'd be like playing Pokemon with condoms or something. But you would, you're definitely not using the things, that's
Yep.
for sure.
Nah, get it, mate. I get it. Just something I was like,
Yeah.
it's like, but
Maybe I should have been an Olympian.
yes, they get the good deal.
They
Your
get the
sport's
good
done
deal.
in 10 seconds. Week 2, we basically blazed through week 1 because it was a pretty nice, smooth, somewhat week.
Yeah.
Moving into week 2, and it's sort of like what they say about Bathurst. It's the last 30 laps of the race, isn't it?
Yes.
That whole week. How did you feel getting into week 2? Were you pretty fresh? Like, you said your back was a bit jacked, but were you pretty fresh at that point still?
Yeah, really. At that point, like I say, at the moment, my hands, that's from Dakar.
Yep.
Didn't blister anywhere for the
That's good.
whole race, and didn't tape. The only thing I was taping at that point in time was my thumb, basically. So I'd wrap around my thumb here just to stop my thumb from going this way, because I don't think it's still quite strong in that
Yeah, right.
direction from that crash in Morocco, where they sliced me back open here and reattached some stuff and some ligaments and everything. So I was just more so trying to protect that to not give me any grief for that second week. It didn't hinder anything, but honestly, besides from that crash, bit of a jacked up left side of my back. The second week I was feeling somewhat fresh. Definitely weren't feeling brand new, but I was definitely ready for the second week to get underway and attack as hard as we could.
Bike good at that point?
Yeah, honestly, bike was good. Even the crash with Beretta and that, honestly, for how big it was, and for him, he was asleep for probably a minute and a half in the
Wow.
desert. So it wiped me out. But honestly, I didn't even bend or break bars, didn't break a lever, didn't even tear the front tower or nothing off the bike. So it just kind of must have flipped me over the front and then
Yeah.
just like went somehow back to its wheels and then just fell straight to its side and come to a stop, and that was about it. So bike was all good. Had no issues with that. I wasn't adjusting or changing too much stuff. I did go a little firmer with the shock in valving, and then I did go in a few clicks on the forks just for the dunes, because that second week was going to be more predominantly dunes and like drop offs and stuff.
Yep.
So I just wanted something a little bit firmer to catch those if I got caught out on one. But yeah, everything else then was fine and dandy, and we were ready to take on week 2.
How good's that, eh? To be able to just get through that whole first week pretty much untouched, bike-wise, not touching this and that overnight.
So I think at that point we're like 4,400 kilometres total stage racing. Because we were 4,400 total, I think. So yeah, we're at like 2.5 or something like that. I think, whatever it was. I know they said by the rest day we were 400 kilometres shy of the total racing distance of like stage time. So that's what I mean. We basically then just had another, I guess it was like an Abu Dhabi World Championship race to go. So you're like, I've already done Dakar, and now literally the second week we're lining up to do round 2 of the World Championship in Abu Dhabi. So it's like, it's going to be a tough slog this second week.
That's huge, eh? When you put it like that, you're breaking it 2 events down completely.
Yeah, 100%. That's like, when they did that, then I was like going, okay, this, I didn't really picture it like this. I didn't really want to, and now that you've told me it's like that, now I do feel tired. So it's like, but no, it was like I say, everything was good, and we basically then just wanted to start to situate ourselves a little bit more towards the front. And like I say, like last year's average time we were getting lost was like 15 to 17 minutes. So they brought this new rule in with the bonus time for the first, second, and third place guys leading the stage out.
Yep.
So if you got to certain waypoints and by the refuel, you were the guy leading out the stage. If it was like a 400-kilometre stage, you could then potentially earn up to 6 minutes back in bonus time. So at the first week, I was like, I'm not worried about bonus time. Everyone was getting lost for 17 minutes last time. So 6 minutes is not going to make a difference to the time. But then how the roadwork kind of played out, like it was still difficult navigation, but it was explained better in the road book that we could understand it and kind of keep that rhythm and flow going. And everything was kind of working in the right direction. So then the second week you were like, well, no one's really getting lost, and the bonus time's actually kind of helping the overall position. So it's like, maybe I need to start getting, instead of trying to get those 4th, 5th, and 6th, and now it's like I need to get them 2nd, 3rd, and 4th positions to try and start like collecting some bonus time back. So then we just kind of try to focus on that. Not, like I say, not winning stages still, but just trying to get that bit of bonus time and just try and help the overall a little bit for that second week. And like I said, we only had a couple of minor mistakes and bits and pieces along the way, so it was nothing major. And like honestly, we had a really good stage results from 9, 10, 11, 12. Everything was in the right position by stage 12-ish. We were sitting 3rd or 2nd outright. And then, we got the overall lead with a couple of stages to go. And, that second last stage, I was in that 3rd place spot, trying to then basically, like I say, Kevin was starting. So then by about like stage 11, 12, I then started to kind of say, well, it's now the race is kind of going to be getting decided between myself, Kevin, and Skylar,
Yep.
which is what it turned out to be. So that gave me a bit of an idea of kind of see where I'd situate myself with those three guys. And then, like I say, I guess you would hope that you could, like I say, stage 12, Matthias had that crash. So it was like virtually if he was a minute and a half slower,
Yep.
then Kevin would have started behind me on that second last stage, and then wouldn't have had to stop for Matthias have that crash
Yep.
on that second last stage. So that's what I mean. Like, it just, all these little things can just fall into place.
Yep.
And like I say, it's not like Matthias crashing and hurting himself like he did. Super rad sportsmanship from Kevin to stop. Like, and that's our unwritten rule and code of
Yep.
rally racing and desert racing, because we're so far from help. You come across an injured or a downed rider, you always stop. So it's just, it's good that he's done that. But then, like that crash kind of then helped put Kevin in a really good spot to then charge on for the rest of the day.
Yep.
And come through and make a little bit more time on me. So then, basically coming into that last stage, we had a 12-second difference. So it was, that's what I mean. You can't even dry yourself out of the shower in 12 seconds. So it was going to be all on that last day. So, it's pretty wild.
And I guess, everyone out there is a competitor, or 27, 28 in that class, like of
in the GP class.
GP class, like
Yep.
they're all mad competitors.
Yep. Yeah.
Everyone's thinking they're the fastest guy on the planet.
Yep.
To come down to the last day for that, it's just brutal. You know, someone's got to lose it.
That's it. At the end of the day, there's always got to be some bloke that finishes second. There's always got to be that first loser. And
oh, jeez, man, you competitors, eh?
100%. Yeah,
but that's what it is.
That's what it is. That's like, like I say, I'm not bummed about it. For sure, I'm bummed about it, but I'm not upset about it. I know we had a super epic challenge between Kevin and Skylar. And like I say, it's the closest ever finish in the bike category. Like, you go back in 2000, like 98 and 2000, there was, by like the last stage, guys had a 1 hour lead coming into the last stage. So they were like, the engine could be a little tired. It's a 15-minute penalty, but hey, let's just change the engine for shits and giggles, just to basically ensure complete safety, and we're going to cross the finish line first. And that's like back in 2000, which, it's 12, 13 years ago. Is it? No, 20. Math's really bad right now.
That's all right.
20 to 23 years ago.
You had a big month.
I've used my head too much lately, but 20 to 23 years ago, in that bracket and that time, you could afford to change an engine, whereas like you can't afford to do that now. No. Like, there's between this year, I think it was from first to, I think it was like 8th, we were like separated by like 22 minutes or 23 minutes or something. So you go from going, okay, the engine doesn't sound so good, like we need to change the engine. You go from first place back to 8th. Whereas 23 years ago, you change the engine and you're still in first place and you've still got a 45-minute lead. So I was like, it's
changed.
It's changed a lot. So it's and that's cool. Like, it's being able to be kind of a part of that, to bring a new speed to the sport, and kind of everyone's caught up to that pace. And realistically, I feel like you can only go that little bit more, like, with it, because how it feels physically impossible to read that road book, be full gas, wide open, and then when you finish a stage and someone's gone 30 seconds quicker, you're like, really, I feel like that you can't get much more. Like, if someone came back in and said, "Oh, I could have went 15 minutes faster in that stage," then you'd be like, "Mate, you're dreaming." Like, it's just not possible. Like, you can't go much quicker than what the bike can do at the moment, is capable of, plus read the road book and not make one mistake and be 15, 20 minutes quicker. The only way you're going to get a 15-minute gap on somebody is if you were the first guy leading out and it just went into a stony, rocky, crappy area and you navigated it perfect, and then next thing, second place was in there riding around left, right and centre and going this way, that way, couldn't find the way. Third place gets there. He's all confused because he's going this way and he followed him, and next thing, all of a sudden, everyone just starts riding around in this one spot and you've nailed it perfect, and then you've pulled 15 minutes away. That's about the only way you're going to make time. Whereas now, everyone's pretty damn consistent, pretty strong in navigation, all manufacturing bikes, pretty damn close, similar, super reliable. Everyone's more or less crossing the finish line nowadays, whereas before you'd have maybe one of our bikes drop out, a couple of the Hondas drop out, and then a few of the Yamahas, and then before you know it, you just basically had to sit there and wait and try and look after the engine because everyone else is going to cook theirs and cook their clutch or something like that. But clutch components are so much better, engine components are so much better, everything's super reliable, and you're going to have 10, 12 guys battling for that top step. So,
sprinting.
Yeah, and then sprinting. So it's something pretty cool to be a part of, that's for sure.
So with that, like you say, 2 or 3 more years is, a fair and easy assumption. It just can't get, like, it's like a computer speed. You're at the top of the processor. Like, it's hard enough for fellow people in the road trying to navigate down the road and they're looking at the dash or something, right? I can only imagine standing up on your bike, looking down at your tower, trying to miss camel grass. Like, there's only so much processing speed too, isn't there?
That's right, exactly. That's what I mean. I feel the speed where it's at, like, you could only going to be squeezing 1 or 2 more minutes out of it, realistically. So it's, to try and say that, I can go 15 minutes faster, it's like, the processing speed of that. If somebody can do it, hats off to you. I'll come over and shake your hand and do whatever. Like, and like, we say that now, but, like, I'd say maybe in 10 years, they're going to go, geez, like, we're so much faster than back in 2015, 2020 and 2025, and in another 10, 15 years time, they're probably going to be flying around on little electric bikes through Dakar. You never know.
You never know.
Just, and then you don't then have to deal with rocks and stones and climbing up over dunes. It's like you're flying through the valleys and riding a flying dirt bike, like, type thing. So you just don't know, but it's, when you look at it here now, and when you sit here, you're just like, I feel it can't go much faster. And it's like, I physically can't read that road book quick enough to then check the kilometres to make sure I've turned at the right point and right distance to then check the right cap heading, and I'm heading 240 degrees. And then, everything's sweet. And now I've got to press the toggle switch forward and roll the road book through to get to the next note, so I know exactly where I need to turn at that. Like, and it's, hang on, I need to wind the throttle on, so I go 160 kilometres an hour, and it's just, there's so much to process, and it's hard going for sure.
It's way too much. Like, I just sit there and I'm like, wow, there's just so much to do with it. Now the bonus points, like, first week, here nor there. Second week, total overall, you reckon you're a believer in that idea?
Yeah, look, honestly, I think in some way, that is definitely a good direction to go.
Yep.
Kind of does stop the what do they call it? Where you
Sandbagging.
Yeah, where you kind of like sandbagging and stuff. But there's also there's still going to be that day you need to sandbag a little bit, like to just kind of. But the thing is, we don't know what's coming in the next stage, and like we might sandbag, and then the next day's stage is super easy, no navigation really, like it's all free flowing, wide open, full gas, and you've charged hard all day long, and then all of a sudden you've only won the day by 7 seconds.
Yep.
You're like, well, to sandbag the day before to try and make up and bring back a hell of a lot of time.
Yep.
It's now kind of shot me in the foot. I only made 7 seconds. Like, instead of me feeling like I'm going to make 10 minutes on the guys, I made 7 seconds. So it's like, it's hard to know because we don't know the next day's route or like what it's going to entail, what's going to be coming for it. So, but like, I'm a firm believer, I think, in this bonus time. It definitely has its bonuses, but then it's sometimes too, it can have its negative where, yeah, okay, you've led the stage out. You might have had that easy day. It's been all perfect, smooth, easy sailing.
Yep.
And you've gone, all right, I want to lose that time, but I need to try and keep that first bonus bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might have only lost the day by 3 minutes, but then because you got a 6-minute bonus given back to you, then you've won the day by 3 minutes.
Yep.
Then you're like, well, I didn't really want to lead out another day. Like, now it's like
true.
I'm going to mentally drain myself again.
Yep.
So that's like, there's another aspect of you're up in the clouds. You just don't know what's going to pan out with it. So, I like the idea of it. I think it for sure should stay around. The 160 speed limit rule, I feel like it wasn't really a big help to us. Like, I think percentage-wise over the whole race, I reckon I would say 6-7% of it may have been at over 100 or would have been at close to 160 kilometres an hour.
Yep.
So I don't feel it's a huge big benefit. And in my theory on it as well is that it's some guys got some penalties for going 162 or 163 on a big wide open piste or something.
Yep.
But it's something else for us to kind of manage and look after. And at 160 kilometres an hour, and you've got to take your eyes off the track to look at the road book, to make sure you're doing the right cap, to then quickly check that you're doing 158 kilometres an hour, you cover a lot of ground that time of taking your eyes off just to quickly scan all that stuff. So whether you crash at 158 kilometres an hour or you crash at 180 kilometres an hour, it's more or less going to be the same outcome.
Yep.
Like it's 20 kilometres an hour difference. It's like saying to somebody, jump in a car, drive up the road at 20 k's an hour and jump out the door and just roll up the road.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure it's going to hurt. But from the 160 to the 180 mark, it's already going to hurt a hell of a lot. So 20 k's an hour extra on top of it ain't really going to be that much.
Yep.
So it's something else extra to kind of monitor and look for, and it's kind of, I guess, a little more frustrating.
Yep.
So I feel it doesn't have a big benefit by having it.
Yep.
And like I say, it's only like 5-6% of 7% of the race. Like, and it's that way wide open, full gas, doing over 160 kilometres an hour. So, what was the other rule change we had?
Because that's like what we said at the start about tuning your suspension. You dial your suspension in for that part because that's the part that hurt the most.
Yeah.
Once you're above a certain portion, it's just going to be the same damage to yourself. Like it's negligible.
Once you get
at
over
point.
that like 80, 90 kilometres an hour range, it's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt you.
It doesn't matter like how much protection you've got on, how much like gear you've got on, whatever. It's still going to hurt. And it's like I say, it's like, driving up the road, down the freeway, in a car, doing 80 kilometers an hour, 100 kilometers an hour, and then just going, open the door and jumping out. And it's like then tumbling yourself up the road. So you say that to somebody, go, hey, yeah, jump out of the car. They're not going to do it. Like,
No
there's
way.
no way in the world. Like, they're going to go, that's going to hurt. But when you're on the bike, that's just a normal thing, and you crash at 80 kilometers an hour and you get up and brush yourself off. Sometimes you get lucky and you're not really hurt. Yeah, you're winded, bit bruised up.
Yep.
But, yeah, you're hopefully going to get up out of those. But if it's any faster than that, it's very, very small percentage where you'll get up and walk away from a 140 kilometre an hour crash.
Yep. So that's the one where you sort of just let it be. Let me have something else to concentrate on.
Yeah.
The track. You know, that's the safest thing to do, is to concentrate on what you're
Let
doing.
me focus on the road
job.
book.
Yep.
Let me focus on my kilometres and cap headings.
Yep.
And focus on the track.
Yep.
Like that, to me, I feel like it needs to just kind of go away, because there's really a very small percentage of that speed that we do it at Dakar. Like I say, you would find majority of the injuries and people crashing out of the event is like at a 70, 80 kilometre an hour speed through a rocky riverbed. Like,
Wow.
and that's like because you're riding along, you're trying to like look and everything, and you're moving. Yep, sweet. No, we'll go this way. Next thing, bang! You hit one stone that you didn't quite register or see, or it's kind of hidden. It looked like it was more rounded, but it was more squared up and just had a violent, sharp edge to it.
Yep.
Then land on a pile of rocks and cartwheel yourself up there, 70, 80 kilometers an hour. That's going to hurt, and that's I guess what happened to Sam. Like it's he hit one stone hidden under this little sand trap type thing in the rocky riverbed, and cracked the back of his shoulder blade or something, I think.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's so I mean those ones, they still hurt and still going to be 160 k's an hour, trying to monitor that, and then look down and go, yep, do 158, look up, and there's huge big square edge camel grass something. That's going to be lights out and finished.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Mate, how do you do it? Like, say in the second week's like doing the next round, right? Like, how do you break it just down into days? Like, it's so much it's so much distance. Like, do you like put it into a small perspective? You know, when we go mountain biking, right?
Yep.
You go, okay, we might go for 40 k's. Okay, 10 here. Then the back section's this. Do you break it down into those days just to try and get through it, or are you just so excited to do it? Like what? How? Yeah.
The first couple of stages, you're kind of excited to get out there and get moving. Yeah, around like your stage 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
Feels like a bit of a slog. Then you're like, stage 6 and stuff like, you're kind of like, I'm looking forward to rest day. Like it'd be just good to have a full day off and just relax a little bit.
Yep.
You get the rest day, then it's like a super weird feeling then, because then you're like, you know what, like if we just didn't have this, like you get the morning, you're like, oh, this is amazing. I'm laying in a bed, relaxing, chilling, had breakfast, not in a rush. I'm not getting dressed at 3 o'clock in the morning to go and ride the bike and everything. But then you get to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you go, geez, that time went really fast. Like maybe we shouldn't just have a rest day. Like it'd just be nice that's another day done. And then, because after rest day, we had 6 days still to go.
Yep.
So you're like, if we didn't have that rest day, now we'd only have 5 days to go. Like we'd be closer to the finish line. Maybe we shouldn't have had it. Like it would have been just slog it out, just get it done and finish it, go home. So it's a bit of a weird feeling, but like after that, like in the stages, it's kind of broken up a little bit for you. It's because of the fuel stops we have in the stage. We normally do from about 170 to about 220 kilometers in that first sector and that first leg, because that's pretty much like 240 Ks is roughly our fuel limit that we can do in a stage. So it's kind of already broken up for you. So you're sitting on the start line, you're like, all right, sweet. First kind of challenge, just get to the fuel stop.
Yep.
So you kind of just try and make no mistakes to get to the fuel stop. Once you get there, then you're like, sweet, all right, I've had a good morning so far. Then you started 7th or 8th for the day, and then you pull into the thing, and you're like, oh, yeah, there's still 7 of the guys here, so, yep, sweet, now I'm roughly on time. So then you're trying to watch them take off into the second part of the stage and going, oh, he's more my time, he's probably pulled about 30 seconds on me. Second place guy, yeah, I'm more or less pretty much tied with him. Oh, I've gained a lot of time on the next guy. So you're just trying to work out where everyone's pace is at a little bit by fuel stop. And then from there, fuel stop to the finish. Or we could have another fuel stop, depending on how big the day is. If we got a 480 kilometre stage or something, we might have one more fuel stop to do. But then, we basically just set the sight for the finish line then, and then get that day done. But the worst part is, this year we had, what was it, stage 11? I think then is it 12? No, so stage 12, we had a 520 kilometre liaison after the stage. So you're like, you've done I think it was 150 kilometre stage. We did like 30 kilometres in the morning, 150 kilometre stage, and then they just go, sweet, here's 520 to do. And you're just like, oh,
nice.
That ride felt like it took forever. Like they're the draining ones. That's like, you just feel like you're in a world of nowhere, and you're riding along and you felt like you've ridden for an hour, and you look down and you've done 48 kilometres, and you're like, that's only half an hour. Damn, all right. Still got 450 kilometres roughly to go. Sweet, okay. Then you look up, and then 100 kilometres is done. You're like, oh, jeez, 400 kilometres to go. And it just seems like it drags on. So that was our biggest one. We had we had 2 of those actually. So we had to ride the 500 kilometres to get down to basically the sand, real deep sand stages we had. And then, 2-3 days later, we had to ride that 500 Ks basically back. So there was like 1,000 Ks just on the road, thinking and just riding and cruising along.
So what's the road like? Like, is it good roads? Like,
yeah, the road's honestly really good.
Open road,
But dealing with like the Saudis on the road, like they don't care about you on the road. Like it's
really
gnarly. Like you're riding, so you've got 3-lane highway. You go to pull out into the fast lane to like overtake some cars or something. So you're in the right-hand track of the car, like the lane. So where the right-hand wheels will go. So then you've got like the middle of the road where the left-hand wheel goes. Then you've got the solid line down the edge of the road. So you're in the fast lane already, overtaking a truck. Next thing, a Toyota Camry comes past you at 200 kilometres an hour. His right wheel's in your left wheel track. His left wheel's over the line, running along the guardrail, and just like blows the plastics off your bike. And
this is
like,
common.
Really common. Like me and Skylar, there was one day it's this exactly what happened, and like he blew by me and then scared the hell out of Skylar, and then Skylar's just like throwing his hand up in the air and just going like, "What the hell was that?" Like, I'm lucky I'm still alive. Like, because literally, all that would have taken is like if that truck just kind of veered a little bit and your peripheral vision, you kind of saw the truck kind of like whip the trailer at you, and that he could have just went across into that left side, and you'd like, I don't even want to think of the end result, but that would have taken me out of the race for just someone doing 200 kilometers an hour on the freeway and don't care. Like I say, I think at one point there I started counting how many speed cameras that were going off and flashing at us. They've got speed cameras, like little mobile box things that sit on the side of the freeway. So there's some sections it might be a 90-kilometre section coming out of a town or a city or something, and we're able to do, on our GPS, it says we can do up to 130. So you normally sit on about anywhere from 115, 120, just to be safe, conservative. So you're like in a 90k zone. Next thing, poof, the thing goes off, flashes in your face. But sounds crazy. We don't get the tickets or nothing for them.
Yep.
So at one point there, I think I was up to, I counted about 28 speed camera flashes. I'm like, oh, there's no one. Then you see the box, and you're like riding along, and you're just like, doing 120, sweet, yeah.
Is it on?
Give him a thumbs up. Thing goes off in your face again. So you're like waving to them and stuff like that. But yeah, we don't cop none of them.
You're exempt from that.
Yeah, kind of exempt a bit from that because the government knows. You're there to do the race. You're on a time limit. You're doing this, so they tell the organisation we can go 130 kilometres an hour. Like they set our rules for us. The police set the rules for us. Everything like that. So they say, maximum speed limit's 130, and you can pretty much do 130. Yep. Like if you come into the towns and stuff like that, real like small villages, just common knowledge is slow down and whatever, and just do a slower pace. For sure, I'm not going to do 130 through a small village where there's cars pulling out of little tight corners and stuff like that. But as soon as you're on the freeway and emerging lanes, 90 k's or something, and then there might be a bit of a big sweeping bend. It might tell you to be doing 90 on speed limit and everything, but you're doing 120 and bang, off it goes. And so at one point there, I was like, I'm going to count how many I get for a Dakar rally, and I got up to about 28, and it was like, I'm going to lose count. And I think that was by about a bit after rest day. So so it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll never get a license in Saudi, that's for sure.
I was going to say, one day you'll go back. You're not leaving from here.
You're not leaving from here. You've got, $20,000 worth of tickets here. It's like, whoop. Yeah, but, so other than that, then it was just, as we explained at the start, that last day of chaos with all the waypoints and bits and pieces of that. And
did the water play a part? Like it like what we see on TV, we only see hundreds of meters. You don't get. It's so hard to damn cover. But was it a very, very flooded stage?
That last stage, for sure. Like so I think was it Nacho who rides for the Honda team. Yep. He started like I think he was like 7th or 8th by that time. So that basically meant he started about 20 minutes in front of me. Yep. So riding through the stage, it was a 130 kilometre stage or 35 kilometres, and about 15 kilometres from the finish, like he was riding along super slow, and I was like, oh, he's had a big one, and he's just rattled himself, and he's just trying to get to the finish line and get there. And then when he got to the finish line and that, and I'm like, hey, dude, you're all good? And everything. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm all good. I'm like, well, what happened? Like, what did you do the last day? Oh, I drowned the bike, like back, like right at the start, pretty much. And so there was like some bits there was super slick. Like it was like we were riding on ice. So it was a curveball last day that a lot of people at the start were like, we've had a lot of rain, a lot of storms, roads super slippery. The stage probably shouldn't be happening because we've already done well enough to be a Dakar race. Yep. But you got to go ahead with it and go and race it. And it was pretty sketchy at times. And it was like I say, real soft sand in camel grass. And then because we were like the last bikes to take off, it was all the guys kind of making really average-ish, like snotty lines in the sand and everything. So it was quite violent once you start doing 110 k's an hour or plus, whatever in it. Yeah, the bike was like, wow. She was kind of a wild stage, and I was like, if it comes to an end now because I've just crashed my brains out, like I'm going to kick myself. But then you're like, well, I want to win the thing, so I need to let it hang out and go for it. Yep. But then you're like, well, then it's like a second place, not too bad. Like, I don't want to sit here and then get stuck in the mud, and then I've then dropped from first to fourth, and then
Yeah.
I'm off the podium. So it was like there were so many different things going through your head at that time because it was snotty, rainy, and muddy section, and then you're like, I've got to make sure that like I don't overbrake and miss the turn because now the 20-minute radiuses, like I better not be on the wrong track because
Yep.
it's so slick. And now if I just see the arrow do this and then I stab on the brakes to try and go that way, the thing's gonna send me up like down the track. And so it was a lot to juggle in that last day and try and make it work. But then once that waypoint kind of kicked me in the backside, then you're kind of only going, well, I'll charge hard. Like, I think from when I made the mistake, then I lost all my time. Then I was like a minute 58 seconds down or something.
Yeah.
And then for that last section, I made up a minute and 15 seconds or something. So like, I was definitely faster. I know that.
Yes.
Because in that last section of it, like, and all that camel grass where it was real snotty, shitty, like technical, and like, not to say like Kevin, like I knew Kevin was going to struggle in that because he's a smaller guy, lighter on the bike, and the bike's already kind of playing around a little bit on me, and I'm bigger than him. I'm like probably 25, 30 kilos heavier than him. I knew my size and my weight, I was going to make a better stage time in it. But like with that mistake costing me a hell of a lot, like I say, I was in a I think it was about about 50 kilometre section. Like I'd pulled a minute 15 back on him. So it was like
A lot of time.
There's a lot of time. And when you say put it over 50 kilometres, it probably doesn't sound like so much. But like when it was all pretty much the same track for it and whatever, and we were, and you're in the rally on the last day, pretty much trying to risk it to try and win the race. We clawed back some time, and the guys said that at the end. They're like, "Poor, you were on the move at the end." I said, "Yeah, well, I'd made that mistake," and I was like, I was grabbing every last bit of the straw I possibly could to just hope I'd come out the other end of it and be at the right end of it. But I said, 43 seconds short hurts, but we're here.
Yep.
So now it was she was an adventure, that's for sure.
Mate, I won't keep you much longer.
Yep.
I just got a couple of little ones.
Go for it. Yeah, I'm in.
So you do have that head noise of, seconds all right. Oh, no, I should go first. Like, did you sleep the night before, the last one? Like, did you get a good sleep? Like,
yeah.
Or you're just thinking about things? Like, you're pretty good?
No, look, honestly...
Because you had 12 seconds.
Yeah, I only had 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So you probably think, it's a bit strange to say, I could have slept easy, but honestly, it was a big day the day before. Like I said, it was that 500-kilometre liaison.
Yeah.
So you're already kind of pretty drained, flat, tired. So, like, honestly, 12 seconds, it's a nerve-wracking position to be in, nerve-wracking position for Kevin to be in. But honestly, I know I slept really good.
Yeah.
I know I woke up the next day feeling good. I know I rode the last stage super quick, fast. Could have made some really good time back on Kevin, bar that mistake. But that mistake did cost me, and that's what it is. And I didn't stress about it really. Like, it's end of the day, for sure. My main goal was to win the race, and that's from the very first time I went to the race in 2015. But I was like, it hurt on the liaison right after the finish line. Well, like straight away at the finish line to get slapped with that and to go, "Yep, nah, you were second, sorry, mate." And you're like, damn, I just let it all go. Celebrations and that there, I said congrats to Kevin and Skylar and that. Boys definitely put on a good show and everything. Still bummed, but then by the time we had a 100K liaison to get back to the bivouac, by that point in time, I was like, you know what? I came up with, or didn't come up with, I said to myself, it's like, it's the first time I'm going home, not having to have a surgery, something fixed, nothing's broken, nothing feels sore, I'm not beat to hell. It's the first time I'm going to go home in one piece with a trophy, with hardware. And, yeah, I was like, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, 6 podiums out of 9 attempts. I think there's only one other rider that's sitting at 4 podiums in the same amount of time. Like in the last 9 Dakars, they've been on the podium 4 times. So, yeah, when you look at that, I'm like, well, I'm definitely consistent. Like, 9 times out of 10 when I cross the finish line, I have a trophy in my hand.
Yep.
It's something that I'm pretty damn proud of. And, yeah, to have 2 wins, a second and 3 thirds, yeah, it's would be nice to have all 6 firsts, but it's just not the case. So it is what it is, and, yeah, I'm happy with it.
Mate, so it's an unreal record. Like, it really is. Like, it's especially no discredit to anyone in the past, but in the era, it's just professional sport globally, in whatever sport you're talking about, is its absolute peak.
Yeah,
so
100%.
it just very,
That's it.
very
Like,
cool,
it's
mate.
not taking anything away from Coma or Cyril Dupre.
No way.
At that point in time, it was those 2 guys. It was when you were going into Dakar, it was putting 50% on him and 50% on him.
Correct.
And that was it.
Yep.
And then now we're dealing with 12 to probably 15 guys that could possibly win the race. And then, like I say, between first, second, and third was a total of just over 5-minute difference.
Yep.
And then from first, second, 43 seconds. There's no room for error. So, yeah, it's not taking nothing away from the other guys. They did an amazing job back all those years ago racing in Dakar and everything. But, yeah, in times like it is now and the pace and the technology with the bikes and stuff, it's nothing to be really sneezed at. So, I'm pretty happy with it. And, yeah, the other time I crossed the finish line, which was last year, was a 10th without a trophy. That was the first time I rolled across the finish line, went to the bivouac, dropped my bike back to the team and didn't have any hardware in my hands. And I was like, whoa, this is a bit of a different feeling and it's not so good, but it can happen. And that's the thing. The other 2 attempts I left in a helicopter. So, 6 times to leave that place with a trophy, it's pretty rad.
Absolutely. How do you adjust? Like, I think I know how you adjust to getting back to normal life. You're just hectically busy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you do, it's an extreme sport.
Yeah, yep.
You do an extreme sport. You've got a sense of camaraderie. You're in a bivouac with a heap of other people that do the same thing. To come back home, how do you adjust?
Well, trust me, it's still at this point in time, I haven't adjusted. My sleep at the moment is terrible.
Really?
I'm like, it's... So when I first got home, first night I was home, I think I was jet lagged, tired. I got home at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and just by the time I got to the house, I think I crashed out by 7 at night, and then I think I was up at midnight.
Wow.
But it felt like I'd slept all night and had a good full solid 8 hours of sleep.
Yep.
And then I was just like wide awake till 6 in the morning. And then for some reason just felt like I was then tired again and just crashed out for an hour and then woke up and just felt terrible.
Wow.
So then it's like, then I kind of been able to just 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Then literally last night, I think I went to sleep at about midnight to then just try and see if I can get myself back around to like waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, just to try and get my body back into that like kind of rhythm again. But yeah, I've been a complete zombie the last 3-4 days.
Yep.
I'm trying to do things in the shop and just keep my mind off things, but yeah, it's definitely not functioning and working properly. It's to try and design and make a bracket. It's just all these numbers and stuff floating around in my head and just going, I don't even know how to make this. I don't know what way to go with this. And yeah, I'll just leave it alone. I won't touch it. So just
Another time.
So, but yeah, it's mentally draining. It definitely has not been an easy 4 or 5 days after getting home, really.
Mate, pretty much leave it there. Actually, we will. That's, yeah. It's so much to process, you know, and mate, appreciate you so much. Absolute, you know, you've got all the time in the world for so many people. Thank you for making some for me.
No, mate. It's all good. It's always good to have a chat and see where everything's up to and stuff like that. And then we'll see what the future, I guess, holds for us. Like I say, we got the contract renewal in March, so hopefully that all goes to plan, and then we'll hopefully be able to chat about some more stuff of what the future holds. So
awesome, mate. See, Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
That's the next race, isn't it?
Abu Dhabi's the next one. So we head off there in probably 2.5, 3 weeks' time. So really no time off. We've just done 10,000 Ks and we're about to go and do another 2.5, 3,000 Ks in 4 weeks. 4 weeks' time from the finish of Dakar. So it's straight back into the deep end. But it's been good to chat and catch up on it all. And I appreciate you calling over.
Cool, mate. Thank you.
That's all we have time for on today's show. If you get the chance, head over to YouTube and hit subscribe on the Talk and Chatter page. Also, head over to iTunes and give us a star rating and a review there. It all helps to get the podcast out there. A big thank you goes to everyone that's been doing this already, and we'll be back with another show soon.